Alright, so there's quite a few movies coming out this week. I'm just going to talk about 3 of them, where 2 of them currently stand on Rotten Tomatoes, and my prediction on what the other one will be. And I'm also just going to briefly talk about 2 trailers I saw. So first up, Dracula Untold. If you've been watching my reviews, you know that I've been getting this trailer for almost every film I've been going to for the past couple months. I am so sick of getting that exact same trailer. I don't remember what review it was when Austin and I first saw the trailer for this movie. It might have been at The Hobbit, actually, which if it was, that was quite a while ago. But I remember in that review when we talked about it, we said, wow, that looks pretty bad. And, our opinions have not changed the more and more we've seen the trailer. I remember Austin asked me a few weeks ago what he thought my prediction was going to be on what it was going to get on Rotten Tomatoes. And, kind of knowing how a lot of the people on Rotten Tomatoes, score, just knowing how, a lot of the critics on Rotten Tomatoes are and the scores typically are for certain movies, and knowing that this movie was probably going to suck, I was guessing it was going to get bad reviews, but not, dreadful reviews. And so I said, probably no higher than the 40% range, probably no higher than the 40s. Be pretty shocked if it got into the 50% range. But at the same time, probably no lower than the 30% range. I can't imagine this being, panned by everybody. Judging by the trailer, there does seem to be some, things about it that could be all right. But I can't imagine this getting good reviews. It's currently at a 30%. I was I was pretty spot on that. It didn't surprise me at all when I saw that. I mean, you look at the trailer, and while there's nothing about it that is saying worst film of 2014, it is just screaming in your face generic. And, I'm sure that's what it's going to be. I will see it. Austin and I will go see it this week. I, as a fan of the Dracula character and the book and a lot of the older films, my loyalty to that franchise, I will go see it. Not expecting much. I mean, it doesn't look even remotely close to being the worst film with Dracula's name on it. But you know what? That's pretty much saying nothing, because there are some pretty, just unbelievably awful films that are Dracula films, but still doesn't look good. And I mean, the producer behind this picture co-wrote Stallone's Judge Dredd, which is the Judge Dredd that fans do not like to talk about. We like to talk about, the Carl Urban Dredd. And this producer was also the owner of the company that made Ghost Rider and The Love Guru. I mean, so when you got that guy, producing, that's no offense to the guy, but I mean, that's not a very good sign. Although he did produce the remake of Fright Night, a vampire film that I actually did overall like. I think the original one, directed by Tom Holland, is much superior, but I thought his remake of Fright Night wasn't too bad. So the guy has produced a good vampire film. I mean, when you look at the guy's history, no offense to the guy, it's not the best sign for a serious, horror, action, whatever this movie is trying to market itself as. And, this is actually made by Universal. The company that kind of started the monster craze of the 30s and 40s. Starting with Dracula, with Bela Lugosi in 1931. That was over 80 years ago. It's kind of a shame to see what Universal has done to Dracula since then. But yeah, I don't expect Dracula's score on Rotten Tomatoes to get much better. Again, if it gets to the 20s, it would surprise me a little bit. It might get a little better, might be pushed up back to like a 31 or a 32%. But no, I don't see that changing much. I'm guessing it's in the pretty bad movie, but not, horrible category. But we'll see for ourselves, and maybe I actually will like it more than Rotten Tomatoes did. Maybe I'll like it more than I thought I would. We'll see. But that's my thoughts on Dracula Untold. The other film that already has at least a score, at least by some critics, is The Judge. I have Robert Downey Jr. on Facebook, and he's been putting up a lot of pictures and a lot of statuses about this movie. And that's actually when I first heard about the film. You have a pretty solid cast behind this. Robert Downey Jr., Robert Duvall, and I'm sorry, I always butcher her name, Vera Farmiga, who even though I can't say her name right, I love her. She is an actress that I just keep liking the more and more I see her in things. I think the first time I saw her was in The Departed, which was a minor role. And then, she then became Norma Bates on Bates Motel, which is a show that I like, and she rocks as the lead in that, at least one of the two leads, the other being Norman Bates. And then she was also one of the leads in The Conjuring, which was one of my favorite films last year. So I get pretty excited now when I see her in something new. And so you have a good cast. And the screenplay is written, or at least co-written for that matter, by the guy who wrote the screenplay for Gran Torino. So you have a good writer behind that, or at least we know he has written good material. So why is it that this movie only has a 52%? It's not horrible reviews, but definitely not as good as, it's aiming itself to be. When you look at the trailer and the fact that you have all these Academy Award, nominees behind it, you would expect this to have, you'd expect better, It looks like it's aiming, like it's really, aiming to be something higher than a 52%. Well, it's, yeah, I don't want to point all the fingers at one thing. I haven't even seen the film yet, but I'm just going to say that the director of this film is the same guy that directed Shanghai Nights, Wedding Crashers, and Fred Claus, just to name a few. He's also directed a couple other comedies with both Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. And based on that, it seems like this movie is a bit of a departure for this director. Doing what it looks like a more dramatic film. And while I definitely give props to the guy for wanting to make a more serious film, I don't know. Maybe he just missed the mark on it. And, despite the solid cast and, despite a writer that has a good reputation, maybe the direction was missed. Or maybe I'm completely wrong. Again, I haven't seen the film yet. Maybe the writer, just had a bad day, or however many days he wrote the script and just, missed the mark on the script. Who knows? I won't know until I see it. I will probably see this in the theater, but it's not going to be the first film I'll see this weekend. So I'll get around to watching it eventually and come up with a opinion of my own. Again, 52%, that's just so, that doesn't tell me much. When it's down the middle like that on Rotten Tomatoes, that can mean a lot of things. It could mean that it's bad. That is technically a rotten rating. That could also mean that it's good if you just see past a couple flaws here and there. That just means all sorts of things. And you know what? And many times they're completely wrong. They're not always right. Sometimes the majority of critics are just wrong. But do I see this changing too much? The score? Not really. It's out of 23 critics overall, 52%. Don't see that changing too much. I want this movie to be good. The trailer sold me. The director is not one who, when I look at that guy's films, it's not, a director who I look forward to seeing him, make another film. But, maybe, again, he's this is something new, it seems, for the director. And kudos to him. But, maybe he missed the mark on this. We'll see. But I don't see the score changing too much on that. And then the third film, the one that doesn't have a percentage yet, and this is what with this new series I'm doing. I'm hoping that these will be the movies I talk about more, movies that don't have a score yet. Addicted, the erotic thriller from Lionsgate. Yeah, I saw this trailer. I've only seen the trailer once. I saw it at No Good Deed, very crappy film, and what a fitting trailer to go along with it. The trailer looked like crap. Looks like it's going to have very unlikable characters and a very predictable story. It's based on a novel, an erotic novel, of course. And when you look at the poster for Addicted, it looks almost identical to the poster to Tyler Perry's Temptation, which was also a Lionsgate release that just came out last year, I might add. And that film has a very, very critically acclaimed 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. Imagine that, a Tyler Perry film not doing well. But although I haven't seen Temptation, I know that it deals with the themes of, being unfaithful in a relationship, and it looks like Addicted is very much that. Judging by the trailer, it's about a wife who is either having problems with her marriage or she's just bored, whatever, but she decides to go into the world of cheating, and she gets addicted, and it just gets out of control. Looks really painful to watch, not because it will be so emotional and heartbreaking, but because it just looks so bad. And, I can't help but wonder if this is just Lionsgate's response to Universal releasing 50 Shades of Grey next year. Trying to beat Universal to the punch and try to come up with their own erotic thriller. I could be wrong on that, but I'm going to guess that's why this movie's being made. And the director has mostly done music videos, but has directed such timeless classics such as Honey and Beauty Shop, the timeless spin-off of Barbershop. And the director's also directed a couple direct-to-video films, including a Bring It On sequel. If you can't sense the sarcasm in my voice, not the best director behind it. I am guessing a pretty bad rating on this. I'm guessing somewhere in the 20% range to maybe the high teens range. I would be pretty surprised if this got lower than 15%. I can't imagine this being worse than Tyler Perry's Temptation, but I'd be pretty shocked if it's worse than that. But definitely no higher than 30%. That's my prediction. I'm guessing somewhere between 15% and 30%, probably somewhere in the 20s, maybe the teens, maybe 15% or 17 or 18%. If it is lower than that, then I actually might be tempted to see it, just to see how bad it really is. But if I do, I don't want to be that guy that goes by himself, and, I think it'd be even worse if I had one of my guy friends go with me, so maybe I'll ask a lady to go. Maybe I'll make it a date. Who knows? I'm sure that'd be a nice first date to go see this piece of crap erotic film. But yeah, Addicted, not looking good. All right, to briefly talk about some trailers I just saw. Taken 3. Taken 3. I don't know how many people are demanding a Taken 3, but they're making it. Taken 2 made more money than the makers thought it would, and that prompted them to make a sequel. Despite them saying that they weren't going to make a Taken 3, they did. And despite Liam Neeson saying that if they make a Taken 3, he will not star in it, he's starring in it. Yeah, it's funny how the magical world of money can do that. Really change your mind. I don't know that many people that liked Taken 2. Taken 2, wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Not a great film by any means. It just kind of comes and goes. It's, it is what it is. It's, whatever. But I do like the first Taken. And I do like Liam Neeson doing action films. I actually gave a positive review to Nonstop, which is a film that, a lot of people did not like, and I understand why, but I had fun with it. But I saw the trailer for this, and I will give him this. Judging by the trailer, they're not doing the same thing over again, so there's at least that. The biggest problem with Taken 2 is that Taken 2 played it way too safe. Not only is it the same essential plot, only they switched it around with Liam Neeson and the ex-wife being taken. But the movie goes so fast. I mean, if you blink, you've missed Taken 2. It goes by so quickly. They played it so safe. At least with Taken 3, it looks like they're doing something kind of different, and it looks much more revenge-based. And it doesn't look like Liam Neeson is outside American soil. He's not in a foreign country this time. And you got Forrest Whitaker, So, we'll see. I would like to point out that the director attached to this is not the director of the first Taken, but Taken 2 and The Transporter 3. The very worst of all the Transporter movies. I think the first Transporter was dumb fun. I thought Transporter 2, while extremely stupid, was still pretty fun, a guilty pleasure, so to speak. But Transporter 3 just killed it. I hate that movie so much. So, bottom line, the director behind this is the director of one of the Takens, but not the good Taken, and he's the director of a third entry in a series that killed the franchise. Granted, there is a Transporter series, but that's different. So yeah, Taken 3, not looking too good. I'll probably see it anyways. Other trailer I literally just got done watching was American Sniper, because this is getting some attention. The trailer is getting some attention on the internet, getting some buzz, and it's the new Clint Eastwood film starring Bradley Cooper, who's, becoming a bigger and bigger star nowadays, which, I love Bradley Cooper, I love Clint Eastwood, based on the real-life sniper, Chris Kyle, and his experiences as an American sniper. Trailer's good, very well edited, really well put together. It's very short, it's very to the point. It doesn't mess around, and it leaves you on a cliffhanger, and a good one at that. I am very interested in seeing this film. I have good hopes for that. That looks like it has a bright future. So that's all I have for now. I'll have some movie reviews up later this week. So thanks for listening.